Boris Johnson pulls out of Conservative leadership race.
Here's a summary of the article.
Boris Johnson has pulled out of the Conservative leadership race. Mr. Johnson had the public backing of 59 Tory MPs but had to reach 100 to proceed in the race. This leaves the race open for former Chancellor Rishi Sunak, who leads nominations among Tory MPs, with 144 supporters. Mr. Johnson said while he was attracted to support from his colleagues, he added, "You can't govern effectively unless you have a united party in Parliament." On Sunday, several longtime allies of Mr. Johnson, including Suella Braverman and Steve Baker, threw their support behind Rishi Sunak, the frontrunner in the race. Mr. Baker, the former head of backbench Brexiteers, warned that a potential comeback by Mr. Johnson would be a guaranteed disaster. Mr. Johnson flew back from a holiday in the Caribbean on Saturday and did not formally announce his candidacy in the race.
This post received a score of 45,000, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
So they called his bluff on the nominations. How embarrassing. Imagine jetting back from your holiday to throw yourself into the race for the job you were fired from not even 2 months before, expecting to just nab it back with no problems, and then you have to basically admit there's not enough support for you. Should have stayed on the beach somewhere.
He's immune to embarrassment.
Cut his vacation short and everything. I guess he didn't have the support he thought he had. 'Cause we know he would've if he could've.
Maybe it was a convenient reason to leave because the maid became rather attractive for the joke.
Either way, it must be the first time he's ever pulled out. After 6 kids and 1 prime ministership, Boris Johnson has finally learned how to pull out.
Please don't post unverified speculation. There is simply not enough evidence to claim Johnson has 6 kids. It may be much, much higher.
Greater than there is simply not enough evidence to claim Johnson has 6 kids. It may be much, much higher. Really, weren't we all Boris children, warmed beneath the glow of his wise, benevolent leadership? I will stand by Papa Johnson, and I will keep doing so until the day he stops paying me to say nice things about him online.
Papa Johnson, heir to the Papa John's empire.
Better Brexit, better pizza.
Haha, I am become Reddit laugh, thank you very haha.
So he was begging people for nominations, and then as soon as he claims to have hit the required number, he drops out? Sure, mate. Such obvious bullshit. Good luck to Prime Minister Rishi, I guess.
He might try to become part of the cabinet.
He's good at hiding in fridges. I wonder if the cabinets are big enough for him.
Maybe in a shampoo bottle called Johnson & Johnson's.
That's a pretty big gamble. Of course, someone will have to proctor it.
Evino a guy.
I would carry him on my head and shoulders.
You're a dove.
Okay guys, let's dial it back a little.
Let's be real though, if Boris didn't back out, the Tories would be so despised there might have been a Northern Irish Spring.
I should think so too. Imagine the scenes if that moron was reinstated into a job he lost largely because of the fact he's a massive knob. What the UK needs and deserves is a fucking general election.
Tories will avoid a general at all costs. They would likely get stomped.
How big would public protests have to be for them to fold and call a GE? Because I've never seen year-olds so collectively pissed off at the Tories, so it seems at least possible.
Many in the Tory party are not opposed to calling an early general election simply because the economic outlook is dire. They quite like the idea of letting Labour sort out the mess whilst they are in opposition, yelling at Labour for slow or stagnant economic growth as if it's their fault. They don't want to be losing their jobs, 80k salary expenses. So there is still a possibility that after Rishi's government stabilises the situation and the market's confidence in the UK economy returns somewhat and Tories' polling improves a bit, then they call the early general election and go into opposition, but in larger numbers. However, it will probably take a while for Tory numbers to strengthen. I imagine they will probably see out the full term.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.